has a lot of information about scams and all the red flags and everything. So if you have questions, ask him, he'll be glad to help you. And we're just so glad to have you today.
How y'all doing today?
Good, good. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for
We appreciate
coming
your
to listen to me talk.
More people need to be here, I can tell you that.
Well, the more people that hear this information, the better off everybody is.
Yep.
If one was targeted to be a victim of a scam or fraud or whatever, but they have the knowledge to recognize red flags, you just remove yourself from being a victim, right? And that's what we're shooting for. So, just a little about myself and our unit. We are a 3-man unit with the economic crime unit of the part of the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. It was established several years back. It was recognized by former Sheriff Redmond that there was a serious problem involving matters such as identity theft, fraud, scams, all of that. Since that time, Sheriff Campbell expanded the unit. We're now a 3-man unit. And I'll tell you, you're very lucky living in this area simply because there's a lot of places that do not have specialized investigations of that type. And the sheriff saw fit to allocate 3 investigators specifically to this stuff. Because this is an ever-changing, almost organic thing where these fraudsters will use one tactic, law enforcement, financial institutions, businesses adapt to that to stop it. Fraudsters are going to be fraudsters. They find another avenue. So it constantly changes, constantly evolves. So we got to stay up on that. We try to keep up on training and need us to head that back off whichever direction they may take. What I really want to focus on today, guys, you can get really deep into the weeds in all this subject material. Y'all, as individuals, really don't need to know all that. You need to know, how do I recognize this, and what do I do when I see it, right? Y'all need to know all the mechanics of things, you know. You don't have to know how to rebuild an engine to drive a car,
Yeah,
right?
right, I'd like to.
Well, I'm sure the community college has some classes. I'm sure you can hit them up. So we have a handout here, and we're just going to kind of hit on these first. And at any point, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, holler at me, whatever, and we'll try to make sure we get that answered, okay? So these are scams that we periodically see in our area. First thing that we have here, you can read along with it, fake debt collectors. So you're minding your business at home, you get a phone call. Somebody says, Ms. Smith, you owe us money. Or you have this unpaid cell phone bill, whatever it may be. In your head, you're thinking, I don't have that service. How do I have that? And that's the thought that you should have. Because if you've not had any service like that, you have no debt to owe. Right? The only other question could be is maybe somebody's committed identity theft, and if so, then you need to investigate that. But stop and think. Every one of these schemes that we're going to cover, you're going to be able to look at them and notice some common themes. All right? So, how many of you folks have ever saw a James Bond movie?
Oh,
Now, tell me if I'm wrong, guys. If you saw one James Bond movie, you pretty much saw every one. Right? It's the same idea. You got a British spy. He's got some cool gadgets. There's going to be a pretty lady in there somewhere. He's probably going to have to save her. There's an evil genius.
And a handsome.
So there we go. You know, that pretty much sums up everyone. Much like this. There's no real difference. You have the same themes, you just got a little bit of a plot wrinkle here and there. It's a little bit different, okay? So, fake debt collectors, hey, if you don't have that service, I can't have that debt. No, sir, I'm not going to engage with you. I'm not paying you. We're not going down that road, okay? Scammers and personal law enforcement. These scammers there are varying levels of sophistication. Some of them have very flimsy stories, not very believable. I mean, a lot of holes in them. Some of them are really, really good. What you have to keep in mind, think about a soap opera. I'm sure we've had some
Oh,
people
we've all
who watch
seen
soap
those.
operas. I know I did growing up with my grandma. I watched soap operas. We watched
Come on,
CBS
come on.
every day.
You got
I knew all about it. So they're just actors, right? It's an individual playing a different role, but they really aren't. These people are no different. They are actors. Essentially, they're paid actors paid through fraud. Some of them are really good, you know. You may watch one movie and make be like, man, this is a really bad acting. And you watch it up and you're like, man, those actors were really great. Same thing. Some actors are horrible in scams. Some of them are super, super convincing. I had a guy call me one time and I was like, man, I work in fraud. You ain't getting me. And he was on talking. He was such a smooth character. I was like, man, how many people would have fell for this guy because he just had the smoothest, you know, way of speaking and it made the most sense. He had done that. You could tell he knew how to manipulate. So you'll have people that may say, okay, you missed jury duty. Oh darn, this jury duty, that ain't good. Well, yeah, the bad news is there's a warrant issued for your arrest. If you do not send us funds, the sheriff's office is coming to your house and we're going to arrest you. Well, number one, we ain't gonna, man, hate to come arrest you. And if you or somebody doesn't miss jury duty, you're gonna get a show call. You ain't get a warrant, but generally we try to deal with people with some good common sense. Say, hey, man, let's work this out. We're not gonna be just hard around like that. You know, that's
Jail's
ridiculous.
full of y'all.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I would have said to that? I
What's
said,
that?
You know what? The sheriff is my brother-in-law. And I would click,
oh, yeah, they hang up.
that's all you have to say.
They don't want to proceed any further.
That's right.
But these guys, going back to what I said about level of sophistication, these guys, you can spoof a phone number, meaning you can call from this phone and make it appear that it's this phone number. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
We had a rash probably a year and a half ago. One of our captains, they got his name off of our website apparently. They used one of the sheriff's office phone numbers. They spoofed that number to make it look like there was a call coming from our Mooresville office. They identified themselves as Captain Cass, which is a real person. So it's very sophisticated.
Can I ask you, you know, some may not understand what you mean by spoof.
Yes, call spoofing is simply a misrepresentation of what your phone number is. So let's say you have a landline, you know, cell phone, whatever, where it identifies, okay, it is this number, you know, 555-1234, okay? If that's my phone number and I go to call you, it should show 555-1234. Through other means, I can actually make my phone number appear to be 878-3180, which is the sheriff's office phone number. That's what call spoofing is.
But how do they do that? How are
Yeah.
they allowed to do that?
A lot of technology above my level, but there are actually some very simple methods too. Everybody uses Google. You know, for the most part, or at least know what Google is. All right, Google, aside from being a search engine, offers a lot of services and little doodads that you don't even really think about. There's a service called Google Voice. I can call you from a Google Voice account that I have set up. It'll come up and show as a totally separate number. Now, as far as the actual spoofing, I can't, that's above my level of expertise, to be quite honest with you.
Now, I do get a lot of 704 calls, which is our
Yeah.
area code.
Yep.
And if I don't recognize it, I don't answer, because if my friends would leave a message.
Yep.
And they don't leave a message. But then there are the 704 calls that I get on my cell phone, and right underneath the telephone number, it says United States. Then you know that's a scam number.
Yeah.
Don't even
Well, you know,
pick that up.
Here's something, and that's touched on something that's a really good point. As a society, we've always been taught, be courteous to people, you know, answer the phone, speak to folks, whatever. Think about this, guys. There is nothing that says you have to answer the phone for anybody.
That's right.
And if you do answer the phone and you realize it's a scam, or you think it may be a scam, or just something's fishy, whatever, there's nothing that says that you have to remain on the phone with them. Hang up with them. Who cares?
A lot of times when you do it, a lot of times you said you don't have to pick it up. But who's to say that they don't keep calling?
They may.
Because I see it on the
They do.
TV, and once in a while I'll pick it up and say, this is the IRS, how can I help you? And they hang up.
Yeah.
I should do that more
Well, and a
often.
lot of it's robocalling, and actually, some information I've been told was that if you totally ignore calls or answer them and immediately mute your phone, with that being a robocall, they will interpret that as it's probably called into like a dead
It's a good number.
So
or
don't
a
even
fax,
answer.
so it's a bad number, they don't,
Right.
they knock that off the list then.
Right.
It's something that's not going away, you know? And everybody asks, well, okay, well, if you put your phone on the do not call list, that doesn't apply, because these guys aren't legitimate companies, so they don't care if they're in violation of that. They can care less. They're a little sweatshop setup that's in some, you know, apartment building or some house they rented or whatever, or hotel room for that matter. That way they stay very mobile. So be very careful. And don't think just because you was raised to be courteous that you have to. You know, you ain't got time for those guys. Yes, sir.
I had one to call me and I got on his case a little bit after we started talking. And he said that he would come and kill me and my wife. If he couldn't find us, he'd kill our children.
Wow.
And I called the police department, they said they couldn't do it. I know they couldn't do anything about it, but it's made me feel better. I did tell him if he comes to my house, I put some buckshot in his rear.
Yeah. There's answers for that, mister. You show up the wrong place, bad things may find you.
Yeah.
That's the problem, guys. There's no way to regulate it, and the really bad thing is an analogy that I use is that, think of law enforcement as a battleship, okay? Battleship can bring a lot of firepower, can do a lot of things, but it is not nimble. It does not turn quick. I liken it to these bad guys on a speedboat. So I'm law enforcement, I'm the big battleship, and I'm cruising along the water. They can maneuver all around me. They can run circles around me and laugh at me if they really want to, because I can't turn quick enough to engage them. So let's say that you have a call, let's say it was actually from a legit number. I write a search warrant, go obtain it from the magistrate's office, courtroom, whichever. I identify the service that carries that phone number. I send a search warrant to them, and it might be 3-6 months before I get information back. And by then, they are long gone. That's the bad thing. So, the way things are, we're not incredibly agile, but we have to just work within the confines of the sandbox that we're given and to do the best we can from that point forward.
It also helps if you have caller ID.
Absolutely.
So you can see there's a different area code and you don't even answer it. It
Get
helps a
yourself
lot.
an answer phone, and don't answer your
Don't
phone,
yeah.
screen everything.
Yeah.
Give them the caller ID also.
Yeah.
So, phone number 704-876, you know, 1234, whatever. People are used to seeing that 876, right?
That's wonderful.
And 704, because I'm from a different
Right.
area originally. So
So you have 704-876. You may have a phone number that pops up that's 876 as the area code, and you just immediately, your mind pops to, oh, it's over here. No, it's not. You're calling from Jamaica. Stop, don't collect $200 on past bill.
Right.
Okay. If you get a call out of Jamaica, there ain't nothing good
And
coming
of
out.
course.
Okay?
And I get quite a few from Jamaica. So, am I understanding you to say, go ahead and pick up the phone and then hang it up, because what I typically do is I don't answer. But after the 5th ring, my answer machine's gonna pick up, so they're gonna know it's not a dead number.
Right. What I've been told is pick it up
Hang it
and
up.
immediately mute it. Mute it. They will then interpret that most likely as being a dead number. That's not good. So if you get a call from the sheriff's office saying that you owe this or you're getting arrested,
Yeah, they can be yours.
call us.
Yeah.
Please call us.
That's what I wanted to know. Do we call you about these
Yes.
things?
Now, there may not be anything that we can follow up with,
Uh-huh.
but you can very easily put your mind at ease if you call and say, hey, my name's Sally Smith. I got this call. Is there something wrong? Have I missed something? no ma'am, you're good to go, then you know it was. And guys, here's the thing, the sheriff wants us to be a resource, okay? If you have a question, call me or one of my partners in this unit. If you can't get one of us, call the main number and say, I need to talk to a deputy about an issue. I need somebody to advise me of what I'm looking at here and what I need to do. Seriously. And a lot of people have that thought of, well, I don't want to bother her. No, call us.
Okay.
Because I bet you know that whatever you're calling me about, I can resolve it in about 5 minutes. And we can figure out what's going on. And save you a whole lot of heartache and save me some work on the backside. So everybody profits from that, right? So don't be bashful. That's the biggest thing I can tell you guys. If you have a question, call. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because sometimes they leave a number for you to call them back. And you say, why are they leaving you a number to call them back?
Yeah.
I'm going, they really want me to get in touch with them?
So, moving along here, thank you to the bill collectors. Much like when we just, talked about earlier, you ain't got that service. You don't. And if there's a bill there, there's some identity theft, tell that you need to get the documentation from them, and then you can come to us and figure it out from there.
What do you do if you get something in the mail that says, like, we're changing, Family Mobile to, Spectrum? So do you say, well, all right, then I'm, and then start paying your bills to Spectrum? You never know.
Generally, you're not gonna see mail as the medium through which these guys
Takes too long.
do this. They cost them money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if they call you and tell you that?
Then you call your service provider on a number that you know about.
Yeah.
For instance, talking about valid numbers. I've had cases where it's been a really weird tangling web of fraud. I get information on it, I might call the person that's affected, and they're like, well, who are you?
Yeah.
I'm Detective Locker from the sheriff's office. Well, how do I know that you are who you say you are?
Yeah.
I tell you what you do is you go online and you look at the sheriff's office phone number. Well, can you give it to me? Well, no, don't.
Yeah.
You don't want me to give it to you.
Yeah.
You want to be able to verify independently who I am, who I say I am. If I'm the sheriff's office number, look up the phone book, look up online, whatever you got to do. Then call them and say, hey, do y'all have a detective Ocker that works there? Yes. Can I speak to him? Yep. And you're going to come right back to me. Make sure that you're using numbers that you can validate as being legitimate. Because if you use the numbers that they provide you, then,
You don't know who you get.
they said, yeah, call 555-1234. Okay, cool. Oh, 555-1234 is ringing. Hey, yeah, this is Detective Barker,
Yeah.
Don't fall for that. Only use what you know is legit. All right. Now, I know none of you ladies in here look a day over 29.
Thank you.
Look. Do what? I said, none of you ladies look a day over 29.
Just gave it away.
Oh,
I am lying. 30, and
So-
holding A, B, C, D, and E.
How many people in here have grandchildren?
How many?
What was that?
Grandchildren? Anybody?
the question is how many don't?
Well, that might have been easier.
And great.
And we have great grandchildren.
Great.
Okay, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whatever it may be, you love your family.
Oh, yeah.
You do anything for them, right? Within reason.
Most of them.
Yeah, most of them. There might be a black sheep here or there. But on the whole, grandparents are gonna do for the grandchildren, whatnot, okay? If you get a call that says, Grandma, oh man, I've really messed up. I've been in a wreck. I'm locked up. Don't tell mom and dad. Whatever you do, don't tell mom and dad. Please, please, please don't tell mom and dad. I need some money. No. Hang on. That is not your grandchild. What's going to happen here shortly? All right, so you raised your hand, right? Great-grandchild. Adult age, young, what?
Well, my grandchildren go from age 33 down to grandchildren, great-grandchildren, 2 months.
You got one in the teens, early
Oh, I
20s?
sure did.
What's his first name? His or her?
Eric.
Eric? All right, you get a call mid-morning one day. What's he call you?
Grandma.
Grandma, please, I need your help. Don't tell mom and dad I've been in a wreck. Oh my Lord, I've been locked up. I need some money. don't say, Eric, is that you?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens.
Oh, that's how they get the name.
Actually, you should use the
I
wrong
would think
name.
you would
Charlie,
recognize
not
her
you.
voice.
That's the smart play.
I know.
But don't give them the rest of the information. Because as soon as you have it in your head that that's Eric, they say, yeah, Grandma, it's Eric.
Uh-huh.
You're on the line then. They hooked you at that football game. It adds a layer of truth to it. Okay? All these scams are about is getting you to believe initially. Once it gets you to believe, they'll herd you along. Okay? Who here has ever had livestock? Anybody?
Yep.
Okay. Who here's ever had a dog that ran out of the back door and you had to go chase? Okay. All right, same thing. If you're moving animals, you gotta move them, you gotta keep pressure on them, keep them moving. If you much pressure, they start to break one way or the other, then you gotta readjust and head them back off, right? It's all about pressure. Keep them moving, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's what these folks will try to do, especially the grandparents can. They'll start this pressure, I need this, I need this, I need this. Don't tell mom and dad, please, please help me. And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna put an officer or an attorney on the phone. Well, Eric can get out for $1,500. Okay, well, I really ain't got $1,500 around. Well, Eric's gonna rot in jail then. That's what's gonna happen. That's a story you're gonna be telling, right? Okay, well, I guess I can pay it. I want you to go to Walmart. Get you some, get MoneyGram or Western Union. You need to send it to this location. And we'll accept that. All right, so let me tell you guys something. No governmental entity is gonna tell you to go to send money, to send it by MoneyGram, Western Union, RIA, whatever money transfer there is out there. They're not gonna suggest that. And if you suggest it, they're gonna be like, no, we're not gonna take that. If they tell you to load a card, iTunes, Green Dot, any sort of loadable card, most of y'all probably never used those. But if you're going through the checkout line at the grocery store or any big box store or something like that, and you stand in line and you look around, I can guarantee you there's a stack of cards hanging somewhere nearby, okay? If you were ever instructed to use one of those, walk away. That ain't Eric, okay? Now, a funny wrinkle that we started to get on these is when somebody says, well, darn, Eric, you just don't sound right. You don't sound like yourself. Oh, yeah, Grandma, in the wreck, I broke my nose. So it's packed full of cotton right now. So that's why I said it. So
Then you ask him for
They
his
have a quick
birthmark.
answer to everything.
Ask him for his birthmark.
people don't think
Right, at that moment.
because they're trying, again,
Right,
trying to push.
you're in the
They're
moment.
pushing. With businesses, they call it out-of-pocket information. Out-of-pocket information, what's that? That is any information that's not contained within my wallet. Okay? Hey, Eric, you sound kind of funny. I just need to make sure it's you. Where were you born?
Okay.
What's your youngest sister's middle name?
What did I give you for Christmas last year?
Anything that's not contained, you know, that, no personal identifying information that any fraudster can get a hold of. It has to be some really obscure information that you would know and the other person. But, you know, don't make it the address. What's your address? Well, really, they could have that information.
Yeah.
So don't do anything like that. Make it more obscure, you know. So, any more questions about the grandparent scam? Emails from overseas. So you get some email, and when I say email, let's just include all electronic communication. How many of y'all are on Facebook? Facebook's really awesome, but Facebook is an awesome tool for fraudsters also. So if you get any sort of electronic communication, email, Facebook Messenger, message on Facebook, whatever. If you get anything from your dear old friend that says, I was traveling abroad and disaster has struck, whatever it may be.
I've been trying to get in touch with you.
Yeah, don't send them money. Unless you can verify with somebody else that that's valid, don't send any money.
Well,
Lady out of Nigeria had copied this pretty little young lady down in Boone County. It was somewhere in North Carolina, fairly close. And went on her Facebook and copied images. then created a Facebook persona under a fake name and used all those images. You know, a lot of times you can tell these schemes and how flimsy they are, but like, okay, they have like 2 or 3 pictures. Most people have more than that, right? But this person had dozens and dozens and dozens, probably 100 or more.
Family members and all.
But it looks like a legitimate person's profile. You know, again, it has that ring of authenticity. That's the first step in getting you to believe. Another one that you'll see from overseas. I'm Juan Montoya. I'm an attorney in Spain. And you may not know this, but your long-lost cousin was like the Duke of wherever. And there's no surviving heirs, and you are the closest relation that I can find from tracing the bloodline back. It's worth $8 million as the state is. Now, I'll be glad to do all the paperwork for you as your attorney in this matter. You gotta send me something to get started on it, and then you're gonna get your $8 million. No, you do not. You ain't related to nobody back here, friends. Okay, let's go ahead and consider that. That's one we see fairly often here and there. Craigslist, other selling sites, Facebook Marketplace, whatever it may be. Guys, if you're going to do any sort of transactions online, be very careful, because you don't know what's on the other end. Something that we've seen here recently is kind of popping back up. Rentals. Anybody have any rental property? If you do, you might ought to be checking online or have somebody check online for you, because you have, let's say you have a house at 123 8th Street. Well, guess what? I can go take a picture at 123 8th Street, and I can post it over here on this realty website. Post it for rent. Then, when she decides, I want to rent that house, she sends me money at the end of it, after I convince her to do so. And I tell her, go ahead, go look at the house. Fully furnished, $500 a month. It's yours if you want it. She said, well, I need a place to stay. Sure thing, mister. She sends me $500 for the first rent and plus the deposit. She shows up, supposed to meet somebody for some keys, and except the person that already lives there. And then there's this big fuss and mess, you know, people, well, I live here. Well, no, I'm gonna live here. No, you don't understand. I live here.
I paid for first
You know, we've had that happen before.
Yeah.
So check online, or have somebody help you check online.
Yeah.
I just dealt with one of these the other day. These don't happen in large numbers, but every couple of months, we'll see one of these. I bought information off the dark web. I have part of your personal information. Part of that is your phone number. I've got like your name, phone number, some basic stuff.
Age.
Now, I'm gonna call you now to try to pry additional information out of you, unbeknownst to you. Now, once they get that information, man, it is wide open what they can do. You know, they can credit cards in your name, all kinds of, anything in your credit. They can just run under your name, and you ain't got the first idea that it's going on until months down the road when you get a collection order saying, hey, you owe us money. No, I don't, friend. Yeah, you do. You know, and then it goes from there. The scariest thing in my mind dealing with any sort of fraud is with identity theft, because it can be a recurring problem over and over. So, excuse me. Let's say 2015, we had a huge spike in identity theft. A lot of it revolved around tax fraud. Let's say you're a victim. And they also account for Verizon lines. We saw all of that. And you're thinking to yourself, how in the world did this happen? It was a compromise point. Let me tell you this. Law enforcement probably won't be able to identify the compromise point.
What was that idea?
The compromise point, where your information was harvested from. think about this. This is what makes everything so difficult. How many medical places have you gone to? Your doctor's office, urgent care, hospital, any insurance that you've had? You know, there is a great multitude of places that hold your information. Now, here's the bad part. Your information is only as secure as the least secure place that it's held. So, I'll tell everybody at this table, this is my social security number, and then, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of y'all there. If 5 of them do a really good job, they're like, we got you, Daniel. We're not telling nobody. But one person's like, oh yeah, it's number 24612, yeah, whatever. That's all it takes. Is one compromise point. And what we tell folks is take some proactive steps. Number 1, check your credit. Keep a check on your credit. Because that's oftentimes where you'll first see something. You'll see an inquiry, right? So if you don't have a cell phone, let's say you're with AT&T and all of a sudden you see a Verizon bill pop up, that's a problem. You need to contact Verizon and dispute that. Okay. And there's steps. In this book that we pinned out here, guys, this is more or less a step-by-step what to do if you're making money. It's not the latest page turner off of the bestseller list, but there is a lot of good information there, okay? We highly recommend that people follow this, because what we've experienced in the past is somebody becomes a victim of identity theft. You can do security alerts, fraud alerts, security freezes with your credit. And then 6 months, a year down the road, Jane Doe calls me back and says, oh no, Detective Biker, I'm a victim again. Okay, did you take any steps we talked about? Did you freeze your credit?
No.
Nope. Well, you kind of need to help me help you. You know, there ain't so much I can do on mine. You have to take control of your own stuff yourself.
Can't babysit them.
Well, I mean, you know, we'll do whatever we can, but ultimately it's that person's responsibility to protect themselves, you know? So this will illustrate how deep this actually is. I saw this presentation 2 times. It's put on by the United States Secret Service and Discover Card. So there's this big curtain. You're thinking, what's up with the curtain, guys? Well, there's a guy back there, like a Wizard of Oz or something. So what's going on is he's on the computer, and they have it linked to a projector. So they got this big projector screen there. So we can see everything that goes on this computer monitor. The fellow's name, I think like Ruslan or something like that. You can tell he wasn't from around these parts. Sound like he's probably Eastern European or something along those lines. So the guy from Secret Service says, okay, Ruslan, go to some of these sites and I want you to buy Discover cards in the North Carolina geographic exchange. Okay. He goes to the websites, he starts buying them. Spending like $3 and $8, something like that. Most of them are $5. So at the same time, the gentleman from Discover was pulling up these accounts. And he was there to kill the accounts, because obviously if they're on the dark web for sale, they're compromised, they need to be shut down. So he pulls it up, and they pull up the available credit accounts. And you may have 1,500, you know, 2,500, whatever, available credit, and it's being bought for $5 to $8. Well, I'm no mathematician, but those numbers just didn't make sense in my head. Why in the world did I buy something, how could you buy something that's potentially worth $1,500, $2,500, and I'm buying it for $5? That makes no sense. And they said, well, here's what y'all need to understand. That's how big this is. They will sell this thing, if you look at the ratio, they're selling it for pennies on the dollar. It's nothing in the ratio. So Okay, that still don't make a whole lot of sense. They said, well, here's the thing, you got these people who will hack and get the information. Everybody remembers the Target hack here a couple of years back, everybody and their brother seemed like was focused on that. That was a very large one. So, somebody steals that information, they're gonna sell it off to the dark web. So let's say I did like 100,000 cards or personal information. Got 100,000 of them. That's a lot of people, right? So we're gonna look at working on the volume. Okay? I'm sure that as a fraudster, I will keep some of them and exploit them myself. But there's gonna be a finite amount of time for me to act on this. Now, the reason that I'm gonna have a limited time to act is because, let's say that you bank at Bank of America.
I do.
Hey, look there, I'm
So
clear
do
away.
I.
He knows all.
Let's say that you bank at
I'm glad I
BB&T. Let's say that you bank at Wells Fargo. You bank at Wells Fargo, you Bank of America, whatever. Once the independent banks see enough of it, they're able to piece it together. They're like, okay, Sally Smith is claiming fraud. Okay, where did she bank? Where'd she use her card at this time frame? Okay, that means nothing individually. But then when you start pulling it together with all these other people, hey, there's our commonality. Everybody shot the Target during this time frame. So you know, it probably was Target where the breach was. So then Bank of America says, hey, Wells Fargo, BB&T, you know, whoever, whatever bank. Y'all got this going on over here this time frame? Yeah, we do. So then you know it's a large scale mess. So then of course Target's gonna get involved. Everybody that, like say if I'm Bank of America, everybody that banks with me that shopped at Target during that time frame, I'm probably gonna go ahead and kill everybody's card. Because most likely everybody was exposed. Whether they got it or not, but they were exposed. And I'm in the business of making money, not giving away money. So I won't do that. So then they all get together, they identify that. And Target had, the federal government requires so many things depending on the size of the breach. It's really kind of complicated and it's well above what we need to really know about right now. But that's how stuff gets taken. So then if I'm a fraudster, I'm going to use some of those, but again, finite time frame, which is what we just described. When the banks start figuring out where this happened, oh, this is where it happened. And once I start filling cards, then everything that I have taken is worthless at that point, if I haven't used it yet. So I'll exploit some, I'll then sell the rest of them for pennies on the 100, and just get what I can out of them, working on the volume.
And they.
For the average person, what is your thoughts on these credit monitoring companies?
I don't think it would be a bad thing. I would tell you that to a great degree, it's not in real time. Now, they should be acting in real time.
Yeah.
You get one free credit check a year anyway. If you do that, you're probably going to be all right. You'll catch it fairly soon, most likely. But what's the odds? Okay, let's say that you were like, oh, I get another in January. What's the odds of them doing it in February, the month before, you know, you have 11 months? Not very likely. You can do a lot of it on your own. If you want to pay somebody to do it, you do get real time.
I've actually
Okay.
had
Well,
money.
what I do with the wife and myself is you get three. The three different companies.
Yeah, TransUnion,
Yeah.
Right,
Experian.
right. I'll do mine 1 month, then I'll wait 2 months and I'll do hers with that one.
Mhm.
And so about every 2 months, I'm
You're
doing
checking
one of
stuff.
ours.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that,
see, but it's a crapshoot because let's say that I'm a creditor. Somebody steals your information and applies for credit with me. I may only check TransUnion.
right, but I
So-
mean, but I'll get TransUnion once every 6 months.
Yeah, but you know, so
Okay.
it just kind of varies. It depends on how it all times out.
Okay.
But that's smart that you're doing that. Keep at it. I would encourage everybody at a minimum to do that. Okay.
What about LifeLock? Do you like
That's kind of
that?
what we're always talking about.
LifeLock?
Not a bad thing. I have had an instance where one person swore down they had LifeLock and things got through. I've had a lot of people I've talked to that said, hey, thank you for your help. After talking to you, I went and got LifeLock or some other, whatever other third-party
Yeah.
service provider it is. And they're saying, hey, you had a problem since. But I'll tell you, if you're a victim, a couple things. One, if you have not been a victim of identity theft, you will be. That's just how prevalent it is. Number two, if they've used you one time, you better believe if they're successful, they will go back to the well and try it again at some point. Too good to be true? It is. If you were dealing with somebody that you don't know, don't.
talk.
You know, whether it be a matter of the heart or a matter of business, if I can't look you in, if I don't know you from past dealings, for sure, if I can't look you in the eyes and shake your hand, I do not need to deal with you whatsoever. That's big rule from the father. Anything dealing with relatable cards or any sort of non-traditional means of moving money for payment, walk away. Unless you routinely send somebody $20 grand, don't. Unless you load money on little cards for gifts or something, that's as far as it needs to go. Okay? This is the
What a
topic
world, huh?
that's-
What a world.
But it's so deep and it's so long, and technology has made things so much better for us as a society in some respects. But then on the other hand, it does nothing but produce avenues for all this fraud that we're talking about. So you have to be super careful, guys. This is not the same world that you grew up in. Okay? Now, I've got some business cards up here. Please take one. If you hear anything, call us. Like I said, the sheriff wants us to be a resource for the community. That's what we're there for. Don't be bashful. Don't think that you, well, I don't want to call and waste this guy's time. Nope. Go ahead and shelve the idea. Call me. We'll chat for a minute. If you guys ain't figured it out, I enjoy talking. You know, I can sit here and we can talk all afternoon if you want to. So,
For doing what you do.
Make some coffee.
that's the whole reason I got into law enforcement. I love to chat with folks. I had a large-scale fraud operation that went from Calabasas, California to Morgan. Drug trade tied in with it. I think we wound up with around 30 suspected victims, but we couldn't actually find most of them. But we had like a dozen and a half actual victims we identified. This old fellow had bought 2 Lexuses in somebody else's name using their social security number. And how in the world he didn't get caught, don't know. But he was able to do it. And he had a multitude of cards. It was really something else. One of my victims was actually a Marine out of the Bronx. And I had to go through NCIS to contact him because he was in Japan. So I'm having to use all these other intermediary agencies to make contact. And it was wild. It was long, and it was a long time to sort that out.
You know, they also have scammers coming to your front door. Oh, well, we'll do your driveway for half price. Or we'll put a new roof on your,
roof,
you need new
asphalt,
windows.
things like that.
Buy it.
And a lot of that comes out of one community out of South Carolina.
Oh.
A lot of it. A lot of your fraud stuff is family driven. There are groups of like gypsies
Yeah.
that will work the whole East Coast.
Oh, they're
Florida,
good
New York.
too.
So it's wild. It's really, really wild.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's 1,000 avenues through which this can go
Yeah.
down. But does anybody have any questions? Anybody? Okay. Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you coming out.